Now where did I put that? Hello everybody, and welcome back to Dallas County Iron. It's been a minute, about a month and a half, guessing calculations. Yeah, I've been busy. New job is actually really cool, really enjoying it. Yeah, I've got no problems there. Only bad thing is I don't have a whole lot of time on the weekends because got to do family stuff and of course holidays and things like that. So that's kind of where we're at. Here, there, everywhere. Yay! So we're gonna get started on the interior of. Watch the hand again. That doesn't rotate. I know you can't see it. Might be able to. We're going to take some of the dash apart and maybe take the dash out, and I'll try to show you what we're doing there. Hopefully I didn't just flip this thing around so you can't figure out what's going up or down. Anyway, good times. So yeah, we're going to work on that today. There's actually wiring I need to replace in the engine bay and underneath the dash itself. So we're going to attempt to do that. It's probably going to be a shorter video maybe. I don't know. It's just what I can get done this weekend. I actually got off work early today. It's a Friday. So my wife kicked me out in the garage and said, "Get out of here. I want to go lay down." So I did. So we will get started. And maybe I'll learn how to run this camera. Alright. This is what we're looking at. We got this wire. I believe I'll do this right. I'm going to connect to that wire. And of course we got this cable here. Things that look like they were put in with a wood screw, which I may have to correct. Hopefully that all still works. Not entirely certain. I guess we'll find out. I use that not entirely certain way too much, but you know, if it's true, then it is. My fancy light. One of those $3 Harbor Freight deals. Okay. Now that I'm comfortable-ish, can't see what I'm looking at. That wire. Well, still getting wedged in here. Doesn't help my coat wants to kill me. So that wire goes right through my hand. Where are we? Oh, there we are. And connects to the back of somewhere. Where does it connect? Oh, okay. See if I can find it again. I think I found it. I don't know if I can find my finger now. Where did I go? Anyway, it goes in here to, I think a switch. I actually have to take this off to find out where everything goes. So let me get a Phillips screwdriver and we'll drop this down. See what happens when we do that. Fortunately, there's no batteries, and if there was, I don't think there's enough connection to get anything to work. So, be back in a minute. And as you can tell, I was wrong. That wire does not go, or maybe it does, to that wire, but that wire go here, or does this wire go over there? And And that wire drove in. Now we have to do some ciphering, because that's a rheostat. That's a rheostat. I'm not sure either one of them probably works, but we'll find out. So, cool things are coming. Lots of confusion too, but hey, that goes with the territory. I have noticed that whatever this is over here goes off of, okay, that's my temperature thing, so that either opens and closes a door, or I don't know. And the defroster, well, that obviously does something. And this one is the fan power. So, the fan landed on the floor somewhere. No, I think I put it up somewhere. I actually think I've got two fans. One I took off, the other one was laying on the floor. So we'll get it figured out. Let me get this disconnected as far as I can and maybe take that out. If I can find a washer thin enough where I can turn that thing, hopefully. And I'll be back after that. Yay, the hand's in the road. Oh, here I am in the shadow again. I'm a shadowy kind of guy. Not sure I can get a good spot. Anyway, we're making a little bit of progress every day that I can be out here. And I'm learning stuff. One, I don't know how to take the connector off of the rheostats. So it's going to be interesting replacing wires on those. I do have a schematic I can look at. I did buy a shop manual on the thumb drive, and I printed it out. Used up all the printer ink I had, plus had to go buy some more. But and we're making a little bit of progress every once in a while. The dash, I don't know. If I can get to everything underneath, that'll be great. But eventually a dash is going to have to come out anyway if I'm going to paint it. And when I do that, it might be next weekend, or I don't know. This weekend's going to be really cold. So that's going to be a questionable deal there. But now we're getting somewhere. Got the engine all tore apart. I took some tubing. I'll think of the word in a minute. Fittings. Yeah, that stuff. Fittings. Yay! I took some fittings off the block. I took the water drain plug out of it. There's another plug in the bottom part of the block that has a spring and a little cup in it. Apparently some kind of pressure regulator. Don't know. I got it taken out. Hopefully I don't have to reset it, but hopefully this manual will tell me how to do that. It's not telling me anything about these connectors and stuff, so I'm going to have to do some head scratching on that, how to fix it. But we will get there. Interestingly enough, the wiring schematic does not show a fuse block anywhere in this thing. I don't know if I need to put one in or just keep digging and see if I can find one. See what happens. Everything looks like it's directly wired in to the switch and everything. So I know nowadays we have fuses, but back then, I don't know. Maybe they didn't have enough voltage to worry about burning a car down. I have no idea. mean, I'm old, but I'm not that old. So, there goes the hand again. We're going to call it a day for today, and if I get out here tomorrow, we'll do more stuff. I'm probably going to be under the dash because I really can't do much else. I might try getting some of the engine compartment wires swapped over, especially the ones that are so badly chewed on or whatever happened in there that there's no way they're going to be able to conduct electricity. Looks like mom's spaghetti. Oh, another YouTuber I copied information from. So, yeah, if you like rock crawling, Dirthead Shed, pretty good. I enjoy watching them every once in a while. So, all right, on to the next thing. Hopefully, I'll be able to get out here tomorrow without freezing to death. We'll see. Okay. So, ignition switch, whatever light bulb that was. I know it'll tell me in the descriptions when I look at the manual I bought. There's the foot pedal. There's temperature controllers. They're basically rheostats. I'm going to ohm them out and see if they're any good. Probably are, as long as I don't hold or put a 12-volt battery onto it. Trying to figure out how to put a wire back on there and where they go. That's going to be another investigation thing in my handy-dandy little manual I printed off. It's only like 300 pages. But get you guys set up here and let you watch me beat on this dash some more. One of these days I'll remember to bring the key out. Finally got the keys. So that's a good thing. And I also found out in the state of Iowa, which happens to be where I'm at, I found out after I sent in all the information to get a title for this thing that anything under $1,200 and over 20 some years old, you don't need to get a bond or anything for it. And it's in op, so that's the other thing. I'll have to get a title for it, and when I get it running again and driving again, then I can upgrade the title, I guess. We'll figure that out as we go, but seems to be pretty relaxed here in the state of Iowa, so I know it's like pulling teeth in Missouri to get it done, and just different things, different states. They all have their own rules. So, you know, if you ever get one of these, you're not in Iowa, or if you're not in Iowa, reach out, find out what you need to do. I know a guy, he does pole barn garage, he has a feller that'll get you a title. So it costs him about $300. This one isn't going to cost me anything, just some time and all that good stuff. But anyway, and eventually get rid of the Santa Claus look and just trim it out. Anyway, but let's get back at it and see what kind of fun we can have. I did buy a chunk of steel to do the floor. Hopefully I got enough. Hold on. Found that laying alongside a track. Don't tell anybody, but I've given it a new life. So hopefully we can use that as an anvil and smack things around. That sucker weighs about 30 or 40 pounds. That's a good chunk of steel. Yes, I know I need to clean my garage more, but this is what I got. I want to say they chopped it up. Well, that looks like that end's forged, but the other end I think they cut off. All right. Tools that are going to be used here are this handy little impact driver, specifically designed to bust bolts loose, or nuts loose, screws loose. And I just happen to have the right size, of course you can't see nothing, the Phillips head, and it's number 3 that I need to politely persuade to come out. Apparently there might have been a magnet in there, I don't know. So what you do, and you lose all your pieces. You use a big old hammer, influencer, and you beat the bottom of this thing, and hopefully it's going the right direction. We'll find out. I don't think this is the right piece for it, but I believe I've lost it. So this is what I got to deal with. So as soon as I find that other piece, we'll get back at it. Well, I've got news. That's aluminum. And the bolt's made out of steel. So if anybody knows, aluminum and steel corrode in such a way to where they are permanently attached. There is a way to get it out, but without drilling holes or melting aluminum, I'm entirely certain how to do that. Might have to research that one. So we may move on to something else. Give me a minute to figure out what I want to go for next, and we'll go for that. Okay, so in case anyone's wondering how long Dodge has been doing this, all those screw bolts up here have to come out, and there's a bolt right here. Of course, where did it go? There he is. There's one on the other side. You see how that's kind of got an open slot on the bottom there? Should be able to just roll it and pull it. However, I still have a steering wheel in the road. May have to pull that out. Hoping I don't have to, but we'll find out. Well, apparently I got some household deliveries I got to take care of. So we'll see you again when I'm back out here. Might be this weekend, might be tomorrow. Where I'm working at, we're on hold out, standby. So nice thing is they pay me 35 hours a week, so they can do whatever they want. So anyway, we will come back at a later time. Well, we're back at it. I was out here yesterday a little bit and was trying to get some of the dash taken care of, and didn't have my phone with me. Pardon me. I did get some more things dismantled, and probably wouldn't be able to see much of it, but I think you probably won't see any of it. I did get some connectors removed, and this is working. Okay. So I took this panel loose that protects the wires underneath the steering column, and I disconnected them and labeled them. And then there's connectors underneath here that they pull out of. Hold on, let me get a light on that. Okay, hands in the road. I'll try. See if I can find it underneath here. It might be easier to show you when I get it pulled out, but saw it once before. Anyway, there's a chunk up here somewhere, probably back here. Got a bunch of garbage in my road. Anyway, the air comes through and attaches somewhere back here, and then it blows through this hole. That's where the heat comes from. Anyway, if I get this dash yanked down, I can probably show you better. But I've got wires going everywhere, and there's a wiper motor up here, which you probably can't see because I'm blocking the light. Oh, there it is. There's the wiper motor. I don't even know if it works. But oh, that is part of it, maybe. Anyway. We'll get her yanked out of here, hopefully, soon. And I can show you the rest of the workings of the dash. And we'll go from there. Okay, what was holding me up? This big wad of wire here, which fortunately is all taped up. And no, that stuff goes up and over. Interesting. Because they came off of those wires. But, as you can tell by the way that it is, oh, put that down. Some of this stuff is really not in very good shape. So I'm going to attempt to disconnect a bunch of this. Again, I really don't know where half of this goes, and as you can tell, one of them pulled out. But it also tells me that it just slides in there. It's just a push thing. So now, I know what kind of connector to use when I rewire all this stuff. Thank God for number tape. Alright. So, don't know what this does. Know what that does. These are all electrical connectors for fuel gauge and the amp meter, which hopefully they don't burn up upon use. And the thing that's holding me up, and holding that up, that temperature sensor thing. Now that it's where I can work on it, see what I can do. I do know if I can get sat back down here without breaking anything. Need a new light bulb. And I don't know which hole that one's supposed to go in, and fortunately I got two that are still good that I sort of figure out. Looks like I only got, no, because the ignition switch has got one on it too. I think. Here's two. That guy concerns me. Right there. So here's the ignition switch, which I haven't unwired him yet. But Kind of looks like there's a light supposed to go in that one too. Sorry. See what I'm saying? Can you smell what the rock is cooking? There's a light goes in there. And oh, maybe it's just chewed up on it in there. Critters. They just have no respect. No respect, I say, no respect. But now I can take that plate off. Maybe that unscrews. That guy over there. Get this all taken apart and clean it up. Ah, I got another mystery plug-in thing that was unplugged. There's one laying around here that looks like it should have plugged into something. So we'll just have to see. Alright, let me get that all tore apart. And we'll get back to this. But I'm learning stuff. And then I can refer to my fancy manual about how I'm supposed to rewire all this crap. This is interesting. I wonder if that adjusts things. I don't know. Not gonna touch it. Because that would just be silly. Oh, here's a part number. Ooh, I wonder. Some kind of relay I'm probably gonna have to replace. Hopefully I can find that. Alright, I'm going to shut you off for now and get my fingers out of the road. And we will move on. Alright, that one turns red. This one turns green. Give me a second. Okay, probably can't read some of these numbers. Everything else is in the road. Okay. That one's supposed to be an 8. There we go, now you can see them. There's my numbers. And I wrote them on the back. And of course, busted the headlight or the light bulbs. And then again, I have to replace a few of them. And I'm thinking this is a flasher. Because this wire, follow him around, he goes right to here. And that guy was down there. So I'm thinking this red one goes to that guy. And that one would go over there. I have to shine a light through it to see if there's actually arrows. But let me get that out and we'll shine the light through and see what it says. Well, it would have turned green. I went in to try to scrape things out. That's a red piece of plastic. Was a green one. Now it's junk. I wonder what I gotta do to fix that. I know, green magic marker. That'll work. Sometimes you just gotta make do with what you got. I know there's probably a high temp replacement piece, but yeah, I bet they don't make those anymore. Well, we'll find out. It'll give me something else to research. Alright, now basically what I did I just wiggled that piece out. I do have that screw. Now it's dangling over here. And that'll help, maybe, when I try to put things back together. But I've got a few more wires to chase. Take the ignition switch apart. Remember that all up. I think I found where these two wires go, because this one's missing two. And then there was something else that had a wire missing. If I can find the junky one, that's not it. That guy. I'm thinking he plugs into that spot right there. That, I believe, is fuel. Sure is. Oh, and this comes off. We're probably going to hit it with some kind of wheel. I did get some polishing wheels. I didn't get any polishing compound, but I think I can bring this back and make it look pretty. I guess just going in here. And I might try to polish up some of this stuff. Make it look nice. Probably repaint what I have to. I haven't looked back to see how that comes out. But I'm pretty sure it's not too hard. And we'll roll this thing over, we'll take a look. None of this has really been easy. I mean, it's taken some time to figure out how to get it done. And basically, that's what I need to do, is just take my time. But we're getting there. Slowly but surely. If I got time off this week, I'll probably take the motor in and get it boiled. And then we'll see what we got there. Maybe we have an engine rebuild coming up soon. That's going to take some monies. Nope, don't mind the hand. He didn't eat much. Alright, back at it. Well, good morning, everyone. It is now Christmas Eve. And you can tell I'm not wearing my heavy coat. Don't have the heater going. We have had very warm weather. So it's, still kind of chilly, but it's decent working weather for me. I'm going to show you a couple of things I picked up from a scrapper friend of mine. I spent $100 on everything I'm going to show you, and one of them actually works. So here we go. So here we are. Of course, it's still in pieces, but I'll turn the fuel back on. It's dripping a little bit. Probably need to fix a seal, but anyway. Probably out of gas. I didn't put that much in it. But that is fantastic. I paid $40 for this. Now, if I need to, I've got a cord already hooked up to my house for my hot tub and my camper that I used to have. And now I could power my house if the power goes out. So I'm gonna get this put back together and eventually go to Harbor Freight and get some better wheels. Those are not what it needs to have. There's a plate down here that's bolted to. So I'm going to get a set of wheels that are actually got a plate to it and bolt them to the bottom. This thing will be mobile. So for $50 total and whatever it takes gas to get me there. There's the other side. I'm gonna have a generator. This is a 7,000 watt max generator, and I've looked online. They get a Predator one at Hobo Freight for $1,100. I think it did pretty good. So now I just got to put all the rest of the pieces and parts back on, find whatever I did with the air filter, shove it back in. It's over there somewhere in my pile of junk. Yes, this is still cleaner than it was. You just got to find a home for all my toolboxes now. But we have a success. Yay! Except for that carburetor still leaks. I have to figure out what I can do with that. Other than that, we got a running generator. Sweet. I've got a little update. If you've got taillight lens or taillights and they look like this, you can actually turn this piece by compressing the bottom. Little spring in there, and you can turn this so it'll pull out right where them little tabs are. Then you can get the light fixture out of your taillight lens, or taillight. As you can tell, I tried everything else. Pair of channel locks, trying to turn it and everything. Well, that didn't work. So I got to thinking, wait a minute, what are these little tabs for? So I pushed on those and turned it, and sure enough, this started moving. Then I turned a little bit more and the plate turned. This is actually 90 degrees to here. These will actually set down over these tabs. And once you've got this lined up, it comes right out. Put that little bit of information in your bonnet and try to keep that with you. Save you from breaking shit like I did. But, they'll still go back in, and once I figure out how to replace those, that, that's in prime working order. See if we can keep from having fires. So, more news later. Updates on the generator. I had to replace the carburetor on the thing, and it runs great. So for about $130 from a scrapper friend, I got a 7,000 watt max portable generator. Next time the power goes out. Nice. Also, I started working on the electric on the car. I'll show you that in a minute. This end fits in the back of the push pin things. Hold on, I gotta reach across my light. It's now in the road. Anyway, so that little end, that blue piece I just showed you, which I dropped somewhere, fits in the right in there where that little pin needs to get pulled out. so I can rewire everything. I was worried about that. So I will get back into the process of pulling all the wires. I've already got the, probably can't see it, over there by my lube can and my meter is a wiring harness that goes up the door pillar all the way across to the back and into the trunk, and I'll start swapping those wires out. That's 14 gauge, and some of this calls for a lot lighter wire, but I did a little research and it said it's going to keep it from overheating, so that's a bonus for me. Okay, now for some high-speed wiring. That'll be fun. Oh, okay. Alright, we'll start this all over again since apparently I didn't hit the button. So right up here, see I got my little black dots, or that's where the taping ended. So that's where I started my taping. This one is actually the turn signal for the passenger side. You would think it'd be brown, but they went a different route. This one is definitely the fuel gauge thing in the back, and then I wrapped everything, little known secret, which I used to work for a wiring loom factory many years ago down in Lucas, Iowa, called Lucas Products. So I got a little experience with that. All right, this one is the lighting, the power for the lighting back here, and you can't see it, but right in this, there's a dark spot somewhere over there, about 2/3 way down the window. That is an actual switch that turns the light on once you open the door. That yellow wire goes to that thing, which I tried to get out, obviously, and I broke the metal. This car is such a sturdy car. I mean, it's got issues. All right. So this one powers the license plate light, and again, if I can get a hold of it, this goes to the sensor in the fuel tank, and then where was I? Okay. This is the main power for your running lights, the brown wire, and the black wire is for the turn signal. Over here, brown wire is for the driver's side running lights, and the green wire. Apparently they changed the coding and made this one a yellow wire. I didn't do that because that's not what the wiring diagram calls for, so I'm staying with that. Alright, now that I got you caught up to what I'm doing, I do have the yellow wires run for that light switch over here, and you probably saw them when I was panning around in there, but they're ready to install. I am going to incorporate them in my wiring loom just so I don't have a bunch of wires bouncing around and maybe prevent friction rubs and short circuits and things. You know, preventive maintenance. And then I have, let me switch you around again. All right, take two. I'm going to watch the counter this time. I got the dash rewired. I have everything connected so I can kind of see if I'm missing anything, which I might be. Who knows? We'll find out later when I start plugging all these things in. There are some wires that I just left, like I think the wiper wires are going to be fine. I think all the turn signal wires are going to be fine because they're already kind of taped and secured and nothing chewed on them. I do have the wire harness for the back of the car already done. And you see that beautiful pile over here? That's all the wires I pulled out. Anyway, let's go over to the business end here. I've got practice on this because I had to go through it once before and found out I wasn't recording. So these are all the voltage regulator wires. You can tell by their size. Yes, I had to double up a couple of them because I ran out of wire. But that'll actually be more than what was required. This, yep, that wire goes up. So this voltage, anyway, voltage regulator, horn switch, which actually works as a conduit for a lot of other things. This is the brake light switch, and this goes with this, which I believe also goes to the voltage regulator. I'll have to go through this again and remember what I did. There's horn switch. Oh yeah, light switch, lighting switch. That's what these go to. These big guys go to the lighting switch, and there should have been. No, this is the lighting switch. This is the generator. This is the brake lights, or the voltage regulator, brake light switch. And all this gets shoved down a tiny little hole. Right. Oop. Let's see if I can even see it. See that rubber grommet? Goes in there. Fortunately, I've got a broken piece of electrical wire pulling equipment here. I'm going to shove that up here and pull it through. It goes underneath the hinge here. I just dropped a very important tool, I'm sure. Alright, goes down, oop, fingers. Goes down in here. There's actually a little piece of metal down there to hold on to it, but I can't hold everything right. Then it comes up over here, underneath the brake cable, right down there. That's a clamp, and then it rolls over the top of this. That's actually the starter solenoid. One of these wires, probably that red one right there, goes out to where the coil would be. Oh, I got another coil wire. And we've got several wires, or a couple of wires that go here. And then the rest of that is the lights and the horn. Blue one's supposed to be green. I've got some green tape, as you can see from over there. Actually, thinking about taking them horns apart. Might do that next. Trying to decide if I want to end this here or if we want to keep moving forward. I might tear those apart and just see what's in them. But you see, I don't know if you can see that. Probably not. Those are wires go to the headlight. And they are, believe it or not, some of these wires look new-ish. They don't have the fabric on them. I'm gonna have to repair that block or order a new one. Thinking about drilling it out, maybe shoving another bolt in there and packing it full of plastic epoxy. That might work. Probably won't. And that's the horn switch over there. Can't focus. Too many. Yeah, there we go. And that shiny spot's another broken bolt. But I think I can drill that out. It is kind of loose. Probably be money ahead just buying a different one. I know I can get it, so it's not a big deal. Those 3 bolts there. That holds the voltage regulator. Yes, only 3 bolts. I don't get it, but I don't have to. But I did attempt, get the light out of the road, attempt to put power to the horn, you know, in the off chance that it wasn't full of crap and mice and, you know, all the good stuff. And look, you know what? It didn't work. I'm surprised. So it's probably full of mice and piss and, you know, all the good stuff. So, well, we're going to end this right here for now. And I'm going to do some ciphering and figuring stuff out. We'll see what we can do next. Maybe I will take those horns off and tear them apart. Who knows? I'll catch up with you when I do. Got a side note. Turn the light on here. See that wire there? See that hole right there? That goes all the way up the steering wheel. And you know what's at the end of that wire? The horn button. Who'd have thunk it? That is interesting. Scary, but interesting. Okay. That's my update of the updates for now. I'm kind of blown away with this. It's a solid hole. Well, something, yeah. It's a hole. The entire length of the steering shaft. And that wire travels the whole way down. And then it comes up here somehow. This is going to be interesting. Well, it used to be a horn. Well, that's one more I got to replace now. Yay! Well, got updates. The horn wire is sorted now, and that's it. And right out the bottom down there, I'll throw a little light on the subject for you. Comes right out the bottom of the steering shaft, and I put a little protective shrink tubing on it. It'll hold up a little bit longer than normal. Then it'll go up over here, tie into this harness, goes down that little hole, and pops right back up to the lighting circuit. That's where it lives. And then there's going to be a horn wire comes in and attaches to, or a power wire, it'll attach there on one of those connectors, probably the one that broke off. And that will be that. So I've got all the exterior, so to speak, exterior. I've got all the harnesses made for the engine compartment and for the brakes. Got the dash pretty much buttoned up. Just Just got to run everything and get it connected. And I'm holding off because eventually I'm going to have to do some paint work in here. So I think I'm going to hold off before I start running all that good stuff. Evidence. Somebody was here. Ouch. All right. So now, back to this. Remember my fancy tail lights, right? Where you turn this ring 90 degrees, and it locks it into the back of the tail light bezel. You slide it in there, and then you turn that upper ring 90 degrees, and it locks her in. Well, I bought a tail light kit, and as you can tell, 2 black wires, but the green one says that's the turn signal. I did the same thing on the other side because I had to splice into everything. And this is what's left of the other lighting kit that I bought that doesn't work at all. So that's finished and ready to go. Don't mind my mess. I've been playing. My next steps, probably the next video, I'm going to take those bolts out. They are attached to the strap, the gas tank straps. I'm going to try and take that gas tank out. And then practice my welding. Yay! It's right over here. Not quite Bluetooth, but it'll talk to you. Actually, it could be Bluetooth real easy. All I got to do is bend it a few more times and it'll be gone. But a little crack here. Say no to crack. And, well, you can just tell. There's going to be a little bit of patching going on here, but I got a piece. Probably can cut out of that flat stock I got. I can bang around. Shape. Pardon the shadow, I don't have my other lights on because I've got a heater going and it's drawing just enough amps to trip my breaker, so I need to update my breaker. Make it a 20 instead of a 15, I think. Or get really crazy and go 30. Woo! All you electrical guys are going, what? I'll let you finish the rest of that verbiage. But anyhow, we're getting down to where I may have to fire up the welder and start patching some of this. I did get some paint, so at least put some flat black on it and keep it from getting any worse than it already is. May have to invest in a new trunk mat. Fortunately, the guy that I'm going through, well, will go through, has all this crap. So, better find a nice piece of rubber somewhere and throw it down and call it a mat. Lighting here sucks. But I am going to call it on this video. This will make a video at least. And depending on when I'm working again, where I work at, we're waiting on pieces and parts and stuff. Again, the nice thing is that they pay me 35 hours a week. So whether I'm there or not, if I'm there all 40, they pay me 40. So I'm kind of happy about that. 'Tis the season for the industry that I'm in. I'll explain that later. Not sure I can say too much because of who I'm working for. It's not super secret, but loose lips. Anyway, so where we're at now is this is done for wiring. So electrical-digital stuff is done. I appreciate you guys holding on and waiting for me. On October 28th, I wrecked a car going to work. I did not get hurt. The car got totaled, but it was a rusty pile of junk anyway. That white Bonneville you saw out. Maybe you didn't see it. I was doing a headlight thing and that kind of got trash. But that spray on wipe off stuff that you see works. If you got yellow headlights, go invest in some of that. I got some cheapy stuff off Amazon and it made those like brand new. And then 2 days later I destroyed the car. But you know, that's life. It's usually the way things go for me. I get something looking nice and it goes poof. But that's neither here nor there. We're gonna keep continuing on this car. It's gonna be pieces here, parts there. And see how far we get in the next few weeks. I don't know when the next video will be out. All depends on how much time I get on the weekends. It's usually when we go get our groceries and stuff, so. Kind of cuts down on the playing in the garage time. And I also was doing other projects like going after stuff like that generator, which matter of fact runs great. $40 investment. I bought 4 wheels from Harbor Freight, ordered a new battery because there wasn't one, and a carburetor. And after the first one was broken and they resent one that wasn't, yeah, that thing cranks right up. So I'm very happy with my purchases. But this is going to wrap it up for this one. And again, I appreciate you guys watching and sticking around. And Happy New Year. I hope everything goes well for you during the new year, but realize every bump in the road gives you an opportunity to learn a new way to do things. I like to say it at work, there's no problems, there's only solutions. You just get to find out what the solution is. Yay! So, again, appreciate you guys. If you know friends, let them know. Like, subscribe, share, do the thing. And we will continue on with this project. I got some paint. I'm probably going to paint the ceiling in the car before I put all the interior wiring in. And not sure what I want to do at the front right now. I have thoughts. Not the dark ones this time. So, anyway, I appreciate you, and we will catch you on the next video. Thanks again. Bye.